And my father's cousin, Lawson Feder, he was on a tanker the whole war, going back and forth with gasoline. And his ship was rather fast, so he never went in convoy. He went by himself, he went alone. And I don't think he was hit once. Right through the whole war. And all those submarines that was out there, you know. But when the war was over, he was so nervous. And he came over to visit us a few years after the war. And remember him up in Squire Hill? He couldn't sit still. He walked back and forth in the living room. And his wife said, look at him. He thinks he's on the bridge of the ship, walking back and forth.
It affected his mind?
No, not really. Mine was pretty good. But I think he had some back trouble too from being hurt before the war up in Norway when the Germans first came there. But he's dead now. But he contributed really, he contributed a lot to the war effort by bringing the gasoline over. What could he do without the gasoline over?
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Arco.
and Exxon and most of that gasoline came out of Linden, where the refineries are. They load up in Bayway. That's in Linden. Bayway. Oh yeah.
Well, now you came over when you were 20. What day and month was that you landed?
That was May 8th, 36.
Now, why did you come and your brother came, but not your oldest brother Gabriel and Judith?
Well,
they weren't old enough, I guess. Or Gabriel was the oldest.
Gabriel was older, but he wouldn't. He said right out he wouldn't come. And,
was he married?
No, he wasn't married before 1940, I don't think. But anyway, it seemed to me that my father put a little more pressure on me than the others, so I decided to come. Things were bad over here too then, in 36. That was right after the Depression.
Let's see, you came back in 36. Gabriel didn't want to come.
Yeah.
And now tell me, when you came over, you went through Ellis Island.
No, I didn't. We landed in
not in those days.
In 14th Street in Brooklyn. For the Norwegian American line, they landed there in Brooklyn. Nobody those days went to Ellis Island. That was prior to that.
Oh, that was just closed down then.
Yeah. But I came on a hot day in May 8th.
And who met you?
Well,
your niece.
My father met me.
Your niece.
And my father met me, and his friend Frank Moline.
Italiano?
Italiano? No, Frank Moline, he was Swedish. They met me, and I think Frank was driving, and we had a 31, they drove a 31 Chevrolet, and there was no trunk on that car. So there was a place in the back, there was like a seat there that we could put my luggage on. And that's how we drove home. But I was very much impressed with what I saw. And what hit me in the eyes first was when we came in late at night to New York Harbor, and we anchored up out in by Ambrose lightship that time. I don't think we have that anymore. But anyway, I saw that big billboard right at the coastline, and it said Wrigley chewing gum. That was all lit up. That's my first introduction to America. Wrigley chewing gum, big sign. And anyway, we got into the dock the next morning. Huh? Before we came to New York, we went through a terrible storm in the mid-Atlantic.
Mm-hmm.
So it took us almost a day longer than we were supposed to. And a terrible storm for 3 days. I was sick for 3 days. I was in my bunk most of the time, and I was up in the bow of the ship.
Okay.
And that's the worst place to be for in the storm. When that ship went down, when the bow went down, boy, I almost felt like it was scraping the bottom. And
so you were sick from the storm?
I was sick for 3 days. And the stewardess,
You can go in front.
the stewardess,
Where you
all I did threw up the whole time. So when I come ashore, when we landed, I was skinny as I must have lost a lot of weight, you know.
So where'd you go live then?
Well, my father, he lived in
William Street.
no, he lived on
Throw her my soda.
in Brighton Avenue.
Can
I
you
don't
stop
even
it
see
again?
him.
DH. Father.
In East Orange on Brighton Avenue and a third floor apartment, and that was hot too. So I was I think the first night we went up to my uncle, and he had us for dinner, and I was to stay there for the first week, you know.
Ingle Hansen,
Yeah.
68 Valley Way?
Yeah.
He was living there then?
Well, he was living there with his wife and their son Gordon, who later died in the war, you know.
Right.
Stayed with them for about a week, and then I went to stay with my dad in East Orange, and then we were able to get another bedroom on the second floor of that house, and I stayed on the second floor in the bedroom there. But things were very tough those days. Very little work going on.
Oh, so you weren't sure if you'd
Yeah,
have
I remember that. I remember one day, a woman in the street, she came around with a big piece of paper, and she talked to my dad, because I couldn't understand what she wanted. After she left, I said, what did she want? Oh, she said, there's an Italian family that wants to move into the street, and we're trying with a petition to keep them out. That was in 1936. If you kept Italians out of there, I don't know. I wasn't too interested those days in it. But I know that wouldn't go today. What she was trying to do. But anyway, so I finally, my dad got a job for me with a small contractor, rebuilding houses out in Short Hills and Summit. And I guess I was there for about 6 months. I got $3 a day, $3 for 8 hours work, and I never worked so hard in my life. And it was in a hot summertime. And I didn't have a car, so there was a fella there. There was a fella that picked me up. He didn't pick me up, but I had to walk a long distance to get, so he could pick me up there. But the fella was very nice, and he didn't charge me. He didn't want any money for it. But well, there was. So I said before, it was tough then.
So how old would you be then? About 21?
Yeah, about 21. Yeah.
That was the first summer there in America?
I was 20 years old. Yeah.
First summer?
Yeah.
Couldn't speak any English?
No, just a little bit. But the people that worked there well, they're mostly Americans, but there was a couple of Swedes, you know. They put me together with a Swedish fellow, and I couldn't hardly understand him.
Gee.
So pretty tough. But things were tough. We went through a tough time then. You talk about a coffee break. Today you have a coffee break, a couple of them. We didn't even know what it was. If you had a coffee break, you got fired.
Really?
Yeah.